Once upon a time, there were two brothers who loved themselves very much. The elder one was wealthy. In fact, he was the rich one, while the younger brother was not all that wealthy. He was the poor one. So one day, the younger brother went up to the elder brother and asked him to borrow him some money so that he can start up some business for himself. The elder brother didn't refuse. He lent his younger brother some money so that he can start up a business. But unfortunately for the younger brother, the business did not go on well. He lost all the goods and he lost all the money. So when it was time to reimburse this money to the elder brother, he failed to reimburse the money, and it affected the relationship with his brother. The brother started putting him pressure, started throwing words at him, and so on. He became so reckless. So he decided one day to travel to a far-off village to see one of his best friends to see if he could borrow him money so that he will come back and pay his brother. So while he left for the village, on his way back, it was night time, and he fell between the forest that separated his village and that of his best friend. If you want to know, unfortunately, the best friend didn't borrow him the money because he too did not have that amount of money. On his way back, he was shocked. He was shocked to see a group of men. They were 10 in number, singing and carrying heavy cartons on their heads. He hid himself in the forest to see actually who these men are, what they are doing in the middle of the night, and where they were going to. He tiptoed behind them and hid himself behind one tree when the men suddenly stopped at a very big tree. At the end of the tree, there was a rock. The men chanted some incantations and pulled the rock aside. They all entered into the trunk of the tree, which the man later on understood that it was a cave. They entered inside and kept all the 10 cartons they were carrying and came out with all some empty cartons and sang the same incantations and pulled back the rock at the edge of the tree. When they left, the man went there to actually know what is happening there. He sang the same incantation and pulled the rock and entered inside. To his greatest excitement, what he saw were gold coins in all the 10 cartons. He pulled off his shirt and collected enough coins from all the 10 cartons. He didn't want to collect one carton because he knew that if he collects one carton, those people will know that someone visited that place and they will set a trap to catch him. When he came out, he tied the coins full in his shirt and he sang the incantations and pulled back the rock. And it was as if no one entered there. He finally reached his home when it was almost down. He thought it was a dream, but when in the morning he discovered the money was still with him, he was very happy. He carried his hands on his head and wondered what kind of luck came his way. So the first thing, he ran to his brother. He counted his brother's money and ran to his brother and said, "Brother, this is the money I borrowed from you." The brother was so shocked. The brother said, "How? So sudden? Where did you get money from?" He said, "It doesn't matter. This is your money." He said, No. Yesterday you didn't have money, but how come you have money now?" He said, "Do you remember that my friend in the far-off village? I went right there to borrow this money to come and pay you back." He said, "Whatever, my money is here. So thank you for giving back my money." He now turned to his brother and said, "Please, brother, can you borrow me your glass?" He said, "What glass are you talking about?" He said, "Your measuring glass that you use in measuring your gold coins." He said, "No problem, you can have the glass." He gave the brother the glass. He went and measured his gold coins and discovered now that he has enough money with him. His lifestyle changed. It was about 2 nights. He went to that same place. He hid himself. Those men came and kept cartons of money and took empty cartons. Immediately they left. He went into the cave. He pulled, this time around, he has a bag. He collected gold coins from all the 10 bags and came back home. He went to his brother and said, please, brother, help me with your measuring glass. The brother said, what are you doing with a measuring glass? He said, it doesn't matter, help me with it. The brother said, wait, let me come. He went and met his wife. He told his wife that my younger brother is hiding something from me. He has been begging my measuring glass all this while. We must find out what he is hiding from us. So they used glue and put it at the bottom of the glass and gave it to him. He went and measured his coins. He didn't know that one of the coins had glued under the glass. When he brought it to the brother was so reckless. He said, so my brother has made money until he's measuring it. He became so reckless that he went to his brother the next day and said, brother, how could you lie to me? How did you find your wealth? I just discovered that you've been measuring money. You've been begging my glass to measure money. How could you hide a secret from me? The brother became so reckless that he said, okay, do you really want to know the truth of how I made this money? He said, of course, you know I really want to know. He said, but promise me one thing. If I take you there, you have to follow my instructions. You have to be very careful because here we don't include greed. You have to follow the brother said, no problem. So they arranged one night. He took his brother. He said, okay, please take a bag for yourself. He took a bag. They went. They hid themselves. Those 10 men came with 10 cartons of money. They sang their incantations, entered the cave and kept the cartons and went out with empty cartons. Immediately they left. He took his brother. They sang the incantations. They entered the cave too. He told the brother, from these 10 cartons, please collect money from all of them and fill this bag. For today, I will collect nothing. You collect the coins. The brother said, but it's simple. We can carry 1 or 2 cartons of this money and we walk away. He said, no. If we carry a carton of money, the people will know that thieves came to steal their money. The brother said, no, I don't bind with you. Let's just carry 1 carton or 2 or 3 even and go. The brother said, no, collect from the 10 bags. He was collecting money and grumbling that this thing is simple. We can even collect just 1, 2 cartons and we leave. Next time again, we come and collect another cartons and we leave. These people can even come back and they catch us and say, no, they won't come back. Just collect from the 10 cartons. He collected the money from the 10 cartons. They came out, they sang and closed the mouth of the cave and they went home. The elder brother was so excited. So guys, that's the first part of our story. If you find the story interesting and you want to know what actually happened to the 2 brothers, how the story ended, don't fail to subscribe. Don't fail to like. Don't fail to comment where you're watching from so that you won't miss our second part of the story. Thank you so much and ciao.